guys and gals, it's Mr. Know-It-All here, and I've got to share something with you on this beautiful Pensacola day. Hey guys and gals, Mr. Know-It-All, as I said earlier, and we are going to make our awesome gumbo. If you love gumbo or never had it, this is a really great recipe. And you know Mr. Know-It-All loves to work on stuff and he loves to cook. So does Mrs. Know-It-All. Now, I'm going to be chopping up some green peppers and onions that we need in it. Watch what we're doing. We're going to show you how to make the gravy, or the roux as they call it in the Louisiana area. We're going to be using some andouille sausage, smoked sausage, and we got some really great seasonings. So let's get to chopping. We'll show you what we have as far as all the vegetables that are going into this. Okay, here's what we're putting in it. Now we're making a double batch, so we're going to be using double everything. Parsley, green onions, celery, onions back there, yellow onions or vidalias, whatever you want, and then green peppers. So that's all going in there, which is going to be pretty awesome. Alright, I didn't introduce you to our three overseeing chefs. That's like Leonardo and Hoolios buddy Frenchie there, and I don't know the other guy. I haven't really named him yet. But now we're going to chop up the parsley. When you do parsley, snap off the big ends that we have right here. You don't need those. And make sure you always wash your vegetables. You never know what happens to them out in the field, if you know what I mean. Now here's a trick when you're cutting with a big knife. Keep your fingers curled back like this, so when you're chopping you don't cut your digits off. Let's get making the gravy, or the roux, that will be the base and main part of the gumbo. And then I'll show you the other ingredients we're putting in. Alright, now here's where we make the gravy. It's actually called roux, R-O-U-X. And you cannot burn it, okay? It's going to take about 35 minutes to do this. And you just continuously stir. Once we get the heat over medium, low to medium heat, we'll put 1/3 of this 2 cups in, stir it for 30 seconds, then we'll add the next third, and then 30 seconds, and then the next third. So that's how it's going to go. So we're going to get cracking on it right now.
If you burn it, you start over.
That's right. Mrs. Know-It-All made it clear. If you burn it, you start over. Now we're going to stir this in, and remember, take your time. We're going to speed it up so you don't have to sit here for 35 minutes watching it cook, but you'll be able to see it change in front of your very eyes. Now what we did is we set the timer up on the stove right there at 35 minutes. That's roughly what it'll take. Sometimes it could take longer than that. But we'll have all the, Mrs. Know-It-All put all the ingredients and all the information you need in the show more area of the video's description. Julio, I'll tell you, the guy, he's always on vacation. What do you think?
He's not into good old Cajun cuisine either.
He likes a big old fat burrito when he can. It's just the way he is. So Julio, tell everybody where all the tools and items will be for this video.
Buscar en el show más de la descripción de video para todas las herramientas.
Thank you, Julio, Cesar Chavez, Rodriguez, Jorge Johnson, Silver Grizzly, Alec Gomez. He's got a new name now.
You can't let it sit. It's constant for the 35 minutes or whatever length of time it takes to get it to a nice dark brown.
But you can add blue crab to this. You can add shrimp, which we're going to add some real Gulf shrimp. We're not going to be giving any, putting any of the Pakistani, Indian, Chinese shrimp in it. Make sure you check the bags on shrimp when you buy it. You don't want farm-raised shrimp. You want real Gulf of Mexico shrimp caught by real shrimpers right out of the Gulf. Now the chicken we're going to be using is rotisserie chicken, 2 of them because we're doing a double batch. And that's from Walmart, and if it's fresh when they make it there, it's really good. You can have the heat a little higher than medium, low medium, if you're going to truly stand there and do like Mrs. Know-It-All is doing, searing it.
Yeah, you can't leave it.
No, you can't put it on there and go
Twiddle the fiddler.
That's right. Ding the ding dong, or whatever people do. You can laugh. It's all fun and games. It's all fun and games till somebody loses an eye.
Or their roux.
Or their roux, yeah. You come in and you got yourself a hard-baked biscuit sitting in the pan, you better start over. If the phone rings, let it ring. Especially, guys, if it's your mother-in-law, just let it go to voicemail. And we're going to try to shoot this entire thing, cooking this, without taking the camera off it. As long as the SD card will handle it and the battery. But I want you to see this changing characteristics as we're doing it. The timer up there says 25 minutes left, so this is when you want to mix up yourself a toddy or grab yourself a beer or get some fresh coffee and sit here and think about how your life was so much better 3 years ago. What were the stats on that? 3 years ago, gas prices were where?
$2.
$2 3 years ago. What else?
Dozen eggs was $1.
Dozen eggs was $1 3 years ago, and
mortgage interest rates were 3%.
3% on a mortgage, and I think you could buy a car for like 2 to 3% new. Now I think it's like 14, 15, 16, 20, 50%. Who knows where it could go? It's a lot. I think it's 7% for a car, 7% for a mortgage. It's just not good. But anywho, do what you have to do so you can relax a little bit and just wait out the next year. Pray to the Lord Jesus that it goes over quickly. All right, now you see it's bubbling really good. So we're going to turn the heat up a little bit more because Mrs. Know-It-All is really stirring it up nice. Now it does take chicken stock. If you know what chicken stock is, it's just basically bouillon cubes, but we use the juice. You can make your own chicken stock with, grab yourself about 2 or 3 packages of chicken gizzards, put them in a slow cooker with about 6 quarts of water, and just let them cook overnight on low. When you wake up in the morning, you got homemade chicken stock. Now this is the rotisserie chicken that we chopped up that's going in there. That's a good amount of chicken, and we left the skin in there and the whole 9/9. Then this is our shrimp by American, and it is wild caught Gulf shrimp.
Another thing you can do is make your roux up a day or 2 ahead of time, because as you see, it's quite a time-consuming process. So if you got an extra half hour, 45 minutes one day, and you know you're going to be making gumbo, you can make your roux up ahead of time. Stores in the fridge for, they say 2 to 3 days. So we're almost there. We're gonna say that's about as mahogany as you can get.
So it's about 31 minutes. We're going to turn the heat off now. And we'll keep stirring it as it cools down.
See how dark brown that is?
Oh, it's beautiful. And the smell, you guys, is unbelievable. If you have any friends that live down south and they're into this kind of stuff, you could surprise them by making this for them. And people need to really eat home more, don't you think?
They can make it up north too.
Yeah, you can make it up north if they visit you.
That would really surprise them.
Yeah, it would. So people need to eat at home more. And I think people are doing that more because the way things are right now. Alright, so there's our pot that we're going to use. We're going to, because we're doubling it, we're going to add 12 cups of chicken broth. Or chicken stock. And if you get someone to poke a hole in the side right there, it'll come out really fast. Shotgun chicken broth. Excuse me. Just kidding. Alright, now we're going to add the roux and the vegetables. There's our green peppers and onions. Beautiful. This is where all the ingredients go in, pretty much, other than the meats. And this is where we'll use a rubber spatula to get every last drop of that. This is where a rubber spatula comes in handy. There it is. Here's where I'm adding the garlic. I love garlic, so I'm putting in an extra tablespoon, 3 of them. Okay, here is where we're going to add the parsley and the green onions. Yum, yum. Okay, here's where we're cutting up the andouille sausage, and that will go into the pan to fry up and brown. This will add a lot of flavor to your gumbo. So you want to cut these about 1/4 of an inch thick. That'll be the perfect size. Alright, after you get everything in, you'll want to season to taste. Do a little bit at a time as it's cooking. Season, taste, season, taste. Alright, here's the sausage cooking up. We're just going to cook it until it's brown and toasty. Drain the grease off. We'll put it in the strainer over a little bowl. You don't want to rinse grease down into your septic system, and you don't want the grease from this in your gumbo. Looking good. Here's the stock we got going. Look how nice and brown that gravy is. Alright, so let's do the shrimp. You can leave the shrimp whole if you want. You don't have to cut it up. I just like to have more of it in there.
Smells really good in here.
Mrs. Know-It-All says it smells really good in here, and it does. Shrimp is cut. We're going to put the shrimp in. Now the chicken. You can see the skin on there. Oh, yummy. Break it up a little bit here. Any of the big pieces of skin I'll cut out, but it looks like Mrs. Know-It-All shredded it up pretty darn good. Okay, there's the sausage over there that Mrs. Know-It-All is cooking up. Look at how brown and toasty that looks. Looking good. Now we're going to add the chicken into that pot right there. And then, like I said, we'll drain the grease off of the sausage into a bowl, and then the dogs like a little bit of that grease on their food. So, all right, go ahead, Mrs. Butterworth. Dump that in.
You ready?
Yeah. There it is.
Hi, beautiful.
Now we'll stir that in good. Now we're probably going to add some more chicken stock to it in order to get more of a soupier flavor, but this is a lot of what it looks like right here. We just like it a little juicier than that.
More soupy.
Oh, it looks so good.
It smells fantastic.
All right, then this is where we'll go and paste it off and on. The pain and suffering of going through that.
While it simmers.
And that will be putting in the Creole seasoning. All right, so what we did, because we wanted it a little more soupy, we added 8 more cups of chicken broth to it. Tell me that doesn't look awesome. Look at that, it is so good. All the And that was rotisserie chicken, so you get the flavor of the rotisserie chicken in it. Add your salt if you want any after it's cooked for a bit, because a lot of the broth has sodium in it already. So we're just going to let that stew, and we'll let you know when we serve it up. Alright, it's all done. We're ready to go. We got some garlic bread here, Mama made homemade from some French bread. And here's our little gumbo bowls with the little blue crab claws on it. And we're going to scoop that in and put some goodness on top of that. Here we go. Alright, that's all done. It's been cooking for a few hours, maybe 4 or 5 hours. Here we go. Now we're going to put some brown rice on top. That's how you do it. Right there.
Googly eyes.
Googly eyes. Okay, it's all served up, and I'm going to try to tell you how good it is here in a minute. Mr. and Mrs. Know-It-All out.